A reading from the Gospel according to Luke. On one occasion, when Jesus was going to the house of a leader of the Pharisees to eat a meal on the Sabbath, they were watching him closely. And just then, in front of him, there was a man who had dropsy. And Jesus asked the lawyers and the Pharisees, "Is it lawful to cure people on the Sabbath or not?" But then they were silent. And Jesus took him and healed him and sent him away. And then he said to them, "If one of you has a child or an ox that has fallen into a well, will you not immediately pull it out on a Sabbath day?" And they could not reply to this. The word of the Lord. I find it notable we're seeing two different approaches to engaging in a conversation with someone that you suspect disagreement. You see, both. I mean, the Pharisees and Jesus, they know the situation they're walking into here. They know they disagree about things. And you see the Pharisees' approach here is to enter into it with suspicion. It says here that they were watching Jesus closely. You see, they weren't even going to give Jesus the consideration that maybe there may be something good and right and meaningful to what he had to contribute. They were already looking for something to get him for. Now, that's one way of entering into a conversation with people that you suspect you disagree. But I would say you're not going to get anywhere very quickly. It's very unlikely that if you are treating someone with suspicion that they are wrong and bad and that there's nothing good of value that they have to add, that they're not going to learn anything from you. And you're absolutely not going to be able to learn anything from them. And so the disagreement is just at an impasse. Now, Jesus, on the other hand, he disagrees with the Pharisees about things. Jesus is also very sure that he's the one who's right. And when he's entering into this conflict with the Pharisees here, though, notice he doesn't walk into it immediately with a hermeneutic of suspicion to just assume there's nothing good that they have to contribute. And instead, Jesus approaches them with an openness to saying, "Look, I see that you get things right. I see that we have shared values. I see that we agree about things and that your heart is in the right place." He says to them, "I see how you would also take care of someone you love or something that you love in a time of need, because you value love, relationships, protecting the things that are meaningful to you. You understand the idea of following the spirit of the law, not necessarily breaking the spirit of the law to follow the strict letter of the law." He's not coming at them from the standpoint of suspicion, but with an understanding they have meaningful things to contribute to. And notice how disarming it is. It even says here they've got nothing. They can't come back at anything. They can't come back at him with anything, because he's recognizing them as having value too, even when they disagree about things. Now, I would say, if you are engaging in a conversation or a conflict even with somebody that you disagree with, but you're coming at it from the standpoint of recognizing within them that they have value too, that there are things they are right about, that their hearts are in the right place, and that they are trying to do what they think is right too, that leaves the door open. That leaves the door open that maybe they can learn something from you. They'll be open to hearing something from you. And it even leaves the door open that you might get something from them too. And so between the two approaches, I think we know which one Jesus would choose, because we see which one Jesus does choose. You will be surrounded your whole life by people that you think are wrong and that you disagree with. And you can decide to come at that conversation with the door slammed shut, or you can come at that conversation with the willingness of having the door be open and seeing what results. Amen.